Nice one, mate. Thanks for that. Toby, I'm sure this is the bit you're probably most looking forward to, having admitted that you're struggling in the league, mate, but we won't go into that. Look, we keep this just to go through Wickham, get your thoughts on the season so far. Obviously, as we go through the season, it'll probably change. And when you come on the show later in the year, mate, I say your answers may differ. But yeah, general expectations for Wickham this year?
Yeah, I think the goal inside the club, everybody's saying we want to get the playoffs. I think, to me, League One's very strong this year. It's a difficult league. I think if we were to make the playoffs, it's a bit of a stretch. I think we finished 10th last season. Any progress on that, if we finished between 7th and 9th, it would be obviously disappointing to miss out on the playoffs, but progress is just all we want. We had so long under Gareth Ainsworth, 10 years with him there, and we were so kind of stuck in our ways. A lot of fans didn't like it. A lot of fans liked the way that he grinded out results. But we're now getting used to a different style of play. We've got a lot more games where we've got more possession of the ball than other teams. We're playing the ball on the deck. We've got a new identity at Wickham Wanderers that I don't think a lot of people are aware of yet, but we'll kind of ease our way into that. So yeah, the goals, I think, it's just wanting to see progress. I think on the pitch, nobody's demanding promotion. Nobody's thinking, that we should be up there and winning the league or anything like that. But we've had new owners come in as well. We've got he's a Georgian billionaire. He's like the 500th richest man in the world or something, which we've not heard much from him yet. But if that investment does start to kind of play its part, then hopefully we would, move our way up and the squad would look a bit better. But yeah, just a bit of progress from us, I think, and kind of trying to bring through those young players. We've talked about starting up an academy as well. So just kind of getting that infrastructure built and just, developing the club as a whole.
You mentioned there, mate, the change in identity. I'm assuming that as, again, you mentioned about Gareth Ainsworth being there for 10 years. I'm assuming that is a change in playing style on the pitch. Yeah,
definitely. Gareth Ainsworth was, at times towards the end of his Wickham time, he started to play a bit more interesting stuff. That was more the ball on the deck. But yeah, everybody knows it. We were pretty terrible to watch sometimes when we played teams, but he was just making the most of the resources that we had. But yeah, Matt Bloomfield is a lot more. He's very different to Gareth Ainsworth. He's like very statistic based. Was
you gutted when Ainsworth left?
Yeah, it was devastating for everybody. And Matt Bloomfield had only had a couple of months at Colchester, so everybody was a bit sceptical. I think a lot of people still are a bit sceptical. I fully believe in what he's doing. I think we've seen a lot of progress so far. But it was devastating when Gaz left.
It probably moves in quite nicely then into my next question. It was around transfer activity. With that change in style, have you seen different types of players come in, and how have you rated your transfer window so far, mate?
Yeah, I think it's been pretty good, to be honest. I think I'm impressed that we're managing to take players who other League One teams seem to see as some of their better players, and they're looking at us and coming to us. I think they must believe in what they're being told, the kind of process that they're seeing. So Dan Udo is one of the star signings that I see. I think he scored 12 goals for Shrewsbury last season in one of Shrewsbury's worst seasons in League One in a long time. All their fans saying that he's really a standout player there. So really excited to see how he gets on. He's not had a first league start yet, but I think he'll kind of come through. Cameron Humphreys, we signed on loan from Ipswich last night, who all the Ipswich fans saying he's their star boy. We should take care of him. He's a really good player. The one thing that worries me about that, there's a clause to recall him in January if he's doing well, and I think they then move him on to the Championship. But fingers crossed we can kind of keep a hold of him and he comes through and he does really well, because we had Freddie Potts last year on loan from West Ham, who obviously you're not fans of West Ham at all, but I think he's going to be a real star. He's a real good young player. I think possibly going out on loan to Portsmouth for this season. But to replace him, then Humphreys will have a big job on his hand. But I do like the window we've had. It's been pretty good.
So what do you think that you need to get in before obviously the window closes next week? Are you looking to do any more business? Is there any area that you feel like you need to get stronger on, or that you're expecting to come in?
Yeah, I think last season we signed 5 loan players, maybe even 6 in the summer. The loans were a big part of it. Only a couple of them actually worked out pretty well, but I think Blooms is willing to take that risk with a few of them. So the core of the squad is pretty good. We've not got too many young players playing in the squad. They're all a decent age, but then getting that youth in there as well will be important. We need an attacking midfielder. For me, I think that's what we need. We've had to push Josh going up into playing in the 10 role, who I think he's much better playing further back where he can intercept the ball. I think just a cover centre back and then maybe another cover out wide as well. We've only got Sadlier and McCleary as our wingers at the minute. So just a few players just to boost the squad, and a real star signing as a number 10, I think, would be ideal for us.
Excellent.
And you kind of mentioned it there already, mate. But general thoughts on Matt Bloomfield. I know you said that some fans are quite sceptical still, but yeah, what's your general thoughts on him?
I think with how Wycombe Wanderers have kind of known their manager situation for years, he's the perfect person to have replaced Gareth Ainsworth, because he knows everybody inside out. He knows everybody's name in the club, whether it's one of the dinner ladies, whether it's the people working in the club shop, everybody behind the scenes. Matt Bloomfield is Wycombe. His nickname is Mr. Wycombe. So I'm never gonna, I'm gonna back him till the day I die. I'm always gonna love Matt Bloomfield, unless for some reason he does well and leaves us and goes to like Oxford or MK Dons or something. But I couldn't see that ever happening. He is, he bleeds blue for Wycombe. So yeah, I like him a lot, and taking that kind of bias away, I think at the start he struggled. Tactically, just wasn't quite there, but his development has been really good. We've given some real good games last season and took points off some of the real star teams in the league. So I'm hopeful for the future. I think this year again should be a building block, trying to get those long-term signings through the door, trying to get them used to Wycombe. Hopefully finish just above the 10th area. If we could get playoffs, brilliant, but I'm not expecting it to happen. And then next season or soon in the future, I think we're going to be hoping to push and try and make our way out of the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, mate, so for all the fantasy EFL listeners we have out there, which Wycombe players should we be eyeing up? Easy for me to say, to get in our teams for the rest of the season.
So Luke Leahy is the one who he is genuinely, when I say that he will be in most people's teams soon, I promise you, when our fixtures change and we're winning games, Luke Leahy is going to score incredible amounts of points from defence, because we play him in midfield for a start when he's listed as a defender. He's on penalties, he's on set pieces. I think he got 11 goals and 7 assists last season. As a defender, it's 7 points for a defender goal. So when Leahy is back fit, I'm not sure how bad the injury is, but he will be really good. But for now, while he's out, I've got Josh going in. He's going to be pretty steady just with the interception points. He's getting 2 or 3 interceptions a game. So if you're looking for a player who's going to get you maybe 6 to 10 points a game week and not really push below or above that, Josh Gowen's probably the one for you. But more of a risk would be Kieran Sadlier, who played really well last week, got 2 assists, 3 interceptions. So if you're looking for that maybe 1 week punt on somebody who he could score absolute tons, but there's probably a decent chance that he does blank as well. It just depends on how the team do then. And Sadlier is an exciting one too.
No, excellent, mate. And I think your expectations are pretty much, I would say, in line with most of Wycombe fans. I don't really see Wycombe as that team that's going to light the EFL up, but they're that yo-yo team, or have been that yo-yo team, where they're more than capable of making a good run up into the Championship. And with some better players, management and system behind yourselves and backing of the board, you could really, really find yourself doing that. I fully expect Wycombe to be one of those teams, if not now, but in the very, very near future. So talk to us about this weekend.
Well, mate.
Very tough league. You look at the teams that have gone down, your Birmingham, Huddersfield, teams like Wycombe must look at that and think, because it's not just about a quality sense anymore, especially League One down. It's financial. It's these teams can go and spend a lot of money. Birmingham have, and it is difficult for Wycombe fans. How does that serenade with Wycombe fans? The fact that you are one of them teams that could be expected to push, but you see these teams come down, the money that they spent. Do your owners look at it as a type of, no, we'll stick true to our guns, what we're going to do? Or is there that chance that they might just push the boat out a little bit, which could in the future put you into a bit of financial trouble with the rules that we have now in place for spending a lot of money? How does that seem with Wycombe fans? You've alluded on the expectation, but is it higher than it should be?
I think so. The key word for Wycombe Wanderers at the minute is sustainability. We want our club to be sustainable. We're not going to spend money that we don't have. So anything, the players that we're buying, maybe the owners are going to put in a bit of money from their own pocket that they're not expecting back as much. That's what the Cougs did well sometimes. But it's never something completely ridiculous, and we're not signing players that we can't afford. So our transfer record was in 2001. We spent £200,000 on Darren Curry. And to put that into perspective with League One now, Birmingham City signed a player for £4 million in League One, which is 20 times our club record fee, which was 23 years ago. when we signed him. So we're competing with some teams that have a lot more money than we do, but we just wanted to do it in a sustainable way. We are punching above our weight. Realistically, if you look at the size of the club, the amount of fans that we get there, we are probably a League Two team in terms of the size, but we've got the heart and the aim and the aspirations of a club who really want to be up there, because we've been up there, and why not? There's no saying that we can't go there and get back. Look at Luton Town, who've got into the Premier League. Brentford were a League One team for years on years, and they got themselves in the Premier League. So, there's nothing saying that we can't grow as a club and keep it building, but we just want to do it sustainably. And if we can bring in as much money, as much income, get more fans through the door, then we will do. But getting that academy as well is going to be the big thing. We're setting up a partner academy in Kazakhstan, which I don't know if you two will have heard anything about this or not. But because our owner, Mikhail Lomtadze, who's Georgian, he's made his fortune from a tech company in Kazakhstan. So he's wanted to set up a partner company in Kazakhstan, a partner academy, as well as an academy back in England for us, which we haven't had an academy for 12 years. So something like that here is just so exciting for us, because the young players that you can then bring through and money from sales that you can kind of push on from is really exciting. So we're not expecting success now, but if we can do things sustainably, keep our club running and still keep competing, then I'm happy, because I'd rather do that than take the gamble that, if Birmingham don't get promoted this season after spending this amount of money, they're in trouble.
It sounds like the foundations are being put in, though, mate, which is the most important thing there. And Jay, I don't know what your sort of thoughts are, but it sounds like there's a lot of similarities there in just terms of Millwall. You mentioned about the clubs in the league. We're punching above our weight. We don't have the financial power that a lot of Championship clubs do now. So look, we're certainly punching above our weight. I think Jay was going to ask this question, but as I'm speaking, I'm going to do it. Thoughts on this weekend's game, mate?
I think it's going to be an awful game of football, to be honest. I've never watched Wickham play Rotherham and watched a good game of football ever. I think Steve Evans is he should be locked up for crimes against football, some of the way that his team play. So watching us play Rotherham will be sore on the eyes. It's going to be combative. I can't see there being many goals. Maybe this will all be wrong and it'll be a brilliant free-flowing game, but I just can't see it. I really don't like Steve Evans as well, so I hope that we beat them. But it's going to be tough. But I could see us getting something out of the game, definitely. I think we'll be big up for it.
So you know what we need to do then, Jay, for the return fixture at the end of the season? We need to get Toby on and someone from the Rotherham podcast, and we can have a little bit of a chat about it.
100%, definitely. That's something we should definitely do, because it's interesting to about Steve Evans, because I don't think many people differ from your view yourself. But no, look, Toby, excellent breakdown there of Wickham, excellent breakdown of your picks. It's been fantastic to have you on. You've been someone that we identified very early on in this venture as someone that we wanted to talk to, and we will definitely be talking to you again. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us, but for our viewers that want to get more tips and get more inside information from yourself, tell us where they can find you on your socials.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, or X as it's called now, at FEFL Tips, which I think will they be able to see the name as well there on the screen too. So
quite
you can find me over there. Yeah, I'm putting out a few different threads a week. I'm trying to have on a Tuesday a bit of a miscellaneous thread that could be just about something interesting going on in Fantasy EFL, whether it's planning or whether it's maybe about the captaincy loophole that I might have found. Every Thursday, I'm putting out differential picks, a list of players that I think if you want to try and gain a few places, they could help you along the way. And then on the Fridays, maybe tonight, I'll have to do it a bit earlier, but putting out my team news as well. So yeah, and if you've ever got any questions or you want to discuss things about Fantasy EFL, then I'm trying to build up a bit of a community there with people who chat about it. So yeah, come along and say hi and check out any of my content if you want. And yeah, again, thank you to you two very much for having me on as well. I'd love to come on again. It's been a blast. I could waffle about football and fantasy football all day. So yeah, thanks very much for having me.
I think we could, mate. I think we could as well, mate. That's why we try and put a cap on it, because we would be here all day, and unfortunately we do all have other things to do as well. But no, look, we share your enthusiasm, we share your passion, and this is why we're doing this, to just talk football. We don't do it for any other reason. So no, thank you very much again, Toby, for coming on. Really appreciate it. And as Toby said, everybody, you can find him at FEFL Tips on Twitter. Ben, final thoughts, mate? Anything from yourself?
No, really enjoyable show. Yeah, thanks again, Toby, for coming on. Yeah, really enjoyable as ever, and looking to see how Toby gets on with his loophole.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed.
something we'll definitely touch on. And just a final thought on that for me is, if you are having any difficulties with the EFL app, I know that a few people have. I certainly have had a couple of difficulties. I found the easiest thing to do is to delete it and
Just delete
it. There isn't anything else to say. I'm not going to start. We said we made a pact, me and Ben, week one, that we wasn't going to go after any issues with the app because we're just excited to have fantasy football. But if you are experiencing a bit of issues with signing in, signing out, just delete the app and
re-download it. That's the
if you use the website as well, the website usually works really well. If you go on just Safari or something, then that's a lot smoother as well.
Exactly. So just persevere with it. We know it's going to be a trial and an error sort of season with the app. I'm sure it'll improve. But no, look, everybody, thanks for joining us. Toby, thanks for joining us. Ben, as always, thanks for joining myself and being my co-host on this. Great work in Game Week 2. The link will be in the description, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It's really took off in the last couple of weeks and we appreciate everyone's support, everyone's kind words and help us keep doing what we're doing. So, yeah, please like, share, subscribe. Link will be in the description and we'll see you on the next one.